Hey fellow comic nerds and mutant enthusiasts, get ready to dive deep into the frosty world of one of the baddest babes in the Marvel Universe, Emma Frost. This psychic powerhouse has a life story that's juicier than an overripe lemon, and we are here to spill all the tea. From her early days as the White Queen of the Hellfire Club to joining the X-Men, Emma's journey is like a rollercoaster ride through mutant madness. We'll dish out her epic battles and complicated love life, which, spoiler alert, is a wild ride, and how she went from being diamond hard to one of the most complex characters in the X-Men saga. So grab your mutant handbook and buckle up, because we are about to unravel the enigma that is Emma Frost. This isn't your regular grandma's bedtime story. This is the electrifying life of the White Queen herself. Let's do this. Before we go into our explanation though, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Shoot on sight!
Diamonds in the Rough. The marvelous origins and intriguing backstory of Emma Frost. Well, buckle up folks, because we are about to spill the beans on Emma Frost's wild origin story. So Emma's roots trace back to a fancy Boston family straight out of the 1600s, and they had their hands dirty in the American Revolutionary War. Talk about a historical backstory. Now, Emma was just the middle child of a trio of sisters, and they had an older brother too. But here's the real issue. Their dad was a certified jerk. Like, we are talking about serious abuse here. And to top it off, Emma wasn't exactly the teacher's pet in the Snow Valley School for Girls. Nope, she was the social outcast, barely scraping by with low grades. But that's where it got interesting. It turned out the Frost sisters were hiding a mutual secret. Puberty hit and bam, telepathic powers for everyone. Emma, though, also had the added bonus of severe migraines. Ouch! Now you're thinking having psychic powers would be cool, right? Well, Emma thought so too. She flipped the script and aced everything in life using her newfound abilities. The first big reveal, she accidentally knocked out her whole school during a mental breakdown. Like, imagine having a bad day and putting the entire student body on nap time. Enter Charles Xavier, the mind-reading guru himself. He caught the wind of Emma's mind-blowing skills and paid her dad a visit, hoping she would join his mutant school. But surprise, surprise, neither Mr. Frost nor Emma were keen on the idea. And that's just the tip of the mutant iceberg in Emma's tale. What's more, you ask? Hold on to your hats for the soap opera that is Emma Frost's love life and rebellious teen phase. So Emma had this thing for her teacher, right? Classic teenage crush. But when her dad found out, he went full-on villain mode, got the poor guy fired, and then blackmailed Emma to ditch her dream of becoming a teacher. Seriously, that's Dad of the Year material right there. Now, when it was time for Daddy Frost to pick an heir for his family treasures, guess who he chose? Yep, our girl Emma. But did she play along? Nope. She flipped him the bird and decided to make her way out in the world. So Emma's now grinding away at minimum wage jobs in Boston, and she even gets stuck washing dishes. Life's glamorous, huh? That's when she meets Troy Kilkelly, and they hit it off. But here's the surprise. Troy's got money problems. Using her telepathy to wipe away their financial mess, Emma thinks all is well. Surprise, surprise, the loan shark isn't having it. He demands more cash. Desperation kicks in, and Troy suggests a seemingly genius plan. Fake Emma's kidnapping to get Dad to cough up some ransom cash. But Daddy Frost is heartless and declares Emma dead to him. He's such a cold man, real cold. Tragedy strikes when Troy bites the dust. But Emma turns the tables on her luck. She slurps up all the business smarts she can find through her telepathy, and when her kidnapping video hits the news, Daddy Dearest has to pay up. Emma, being the boss she is, frees herself, takes the cash, and pieces out of Boston. Next stop, The Big Apple. New York City, baby. Hold on to your mutant hats, folks, because Emma Frost's ride is about to get even wilder. So after her remarkable escape, Emma goes all incognito, dyes her hair blonde, and sneaks into Empire State University like a superhero in disguise. Now here's what happens. Emma's in class, minding her own business, when she stumbles upon another mind reader, Astrid Bloom. It's like a telepathic meet-cute. Astrid takes Emma under her wing and starts training her in the ways of mind reading. And here's where the drama unfolds. Enter Mr. Kendall, her old flame teacher. Yeah, the one Emma had the hots for back in the day. So in a classic love story move, Mr. Kendall is now dating Emma's roommate. Plot twist. Emma, not one to shy away from love, spills the beans about her feelings for Mr. Kendall. Things get messy when the roommate goes all blackmail queen, threatening to expose Mr. Kendall's fling with students. And just when you think it can't get crazier, Astrid steps in and influences Mr. Kendall to do something drastic, choke the roommate. Yikes! Emma, not one to back down, telepathically takes her revenge on Astrid, absorbs all her mind-reading know-how, and saves Mr. Kendall's job. But oh boy, the bomb drops when Mr. Kendall finds out Emma's a mutant. Cue his disgust. He pieces out faster than the Flash. As if that's not enough, Emma's folks catch wind of her mutant antics and ship her off to a mental institution. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions. And Emma's mutant journey is just getting started. So she's now at the Essex Clinic, right? But surprise, surprise, she is being given a boatload of drugs there. The next thing she knows, she's been kidnapped by the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Yeah, that's a really subtle name there, guys. Magneto, the Grand Master of Evil Mutants, decides Emma's the key to some world-ending plan. It's such a classic bad guy move. He drags her to Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters, thinking she's the next big thing in mutant evolution. But guess what? The X-Men, our mutant heroes, aren't having any of it. They swoop in, kick ass, and save the day. Magneto's plan? Foil. Emma, though, ends up back in the clinic with a clear head and no more funky drugs in her system. Now here's where it gets crazier. Emma's not one to wait around for a rescue team. She pulls a Houdini, influencing a guard to go on a beatdown on everyone, and makes her great escape from the clinic. The message she wants to send out is clear. Who needs an exit strategy when you've got telepathic mind games, right? So, Emma's back on the scene, shaking off her problems like a boss. But knowing her track record, you can bet the mutant madness is far from over. But don't worry, we are about to tell you all the mind-bending adventures of our girl, Emma Frost. From stripping to scheming, Emma Frost's journey in the Hellfire Club. Here's a plot twist you'd never expect, because Emma Frost's roller coaster ride just hit a sleazy turn. Picture this. Our girl, broke and feeling the loneliness of the big city, ends up doing the unthinkable, stripping for the Hellfire Club. Yeah, you heard that right. But Emma's not just your average stripper, she's got a mutant twist. She uses her mind-bending powers to make the men in the audience see whatever fantasies they're cooking up in their heads. Talk about a unique talent. Now, in the midst of this not-so-glamorous gig, who comes knocking? None other than Charles Xavier, trying to recruit her for a new X-Men team. But Emma, not recognizing him, or maybe just having a stubborn streak, gives him the good old no-thanks treatment yet again. Fast forward to her breaking point, Emma's had enough of being treated like yesterday's trash. She decides to unleash her telepathic fury on Sebastian Shaw, a big shot at the Hellfire Club. She straight up threatens to turn him into nothing more than an object. But, surprise twist, Shaw's not scared. Instead, he sees potential in Emma's badassery. He invites her to climb the Hellfire Club ladder, offering a front row seat to a seriously messed up initiation ceremony. Shaw, being the charming guy he is, brutally ends the other women to make Emma his number one girl. And just like that, Emma is inducted into the dark and twisted world of the Hellfire Club. We bet you didn't think stripping and mutant threats would lead to this, huh? But you wouldn't believe what happens next. Mutant Mayhem, Emma Frost becomes the White Queen. Well folks, grab your popcorn because Emma Frost just pulled off the mutant version of a soap opera plot twist. So, picture this. There's the Mutant Club, Shaw's just about running the show, and things are starting to get messy. In the middle of all the club drama, Emma spots her chance to be the hero. She helps Shaw's fiancé escape the maniacal jerk by making Shaw think she's kicked the bucket, saving him. Emma's all sneaky about it too. She meets up with his fiancé and ships her off to the Kingpin for a fresh start. Now, the Kingpin's got Emma on speed dial, and she owes him big time. Fast forward to a big showdown at the club. Emma, riding high on her personal victory, does a 180 and mind controls the White King to go all Game of Thrones on everyone in the room. Shaw takes over, chokes the life out of the old boss, and bam, Emma's the new White Queen in town. But the party's not over. Shaw's on the lookout for a new White King, and he's got his eyes set on Prince Namor of Atlantis. Cue the Grant invite, but Namor isn't having it. The dude straight up rejects his VIP pass to the mutant shenanigans. This drives Shaw up the wall, so he orders Emma to play the role of a Siren. How? By jumping ship, literally, to catch Namor's attention. Surprise, surprise, it works. They spend 2 weeks in Atlantis having a grand old gala time. But Shaw's patience wears thin and he sends in the big guns. Sentinels. They wreck Atlantis. Namor gets ticked off and the whole thing turns into a mutant war zone. Realizing Shaw's gone off the deep end, Emma flips sides and teams up with Namor to take down the club. But here's where it gets messy. Emma gets her memory wiped, erasing her little rebellion against Shaw. Namor, not one to forgive and forget, vows revenge someday. And that, dear friends, is Emma's mutant drama that keeps on giving. And believe it or not, Emma decides she needs a side hustle in the middle of all this mutant madness. So what does she do? She just casually becomes the big boss of a mega company, Frost International. Yep, she's not just the CEO, she's in it to win it, laying down the law as the chairperson of the board. Talk about a power move. Now, Frost International is no small fry. We are talking multi-billion dollars involved in everything from building ships and planes to shipping goods and people, and even throwing in some fancy electronics. Emma's basically living every business mogul's dream, and she's barely old enough to rent a car. With the world going all anti-mutant, her pal Shaw thinks their regular brutes won't cut it for their protection. So Emma, being the master manipulator she is, convinces him to open a school too. Boom! The Massachusetts Academy was born in the scenic Berkshire Mountains. Who says you can't mix mutant powers and education? And here comes the plot twist. Emma bumps into the X-Men again when she's out scouting for young mutants to join her academy. Enter Professor Xavier, doing the same thing as her. Awkward, right? They end up in a mutant recruitment face-off, each trying to snag this talented kid named Kitty without spilling the mutant beans to her parents. Frost does her pitch and bounces, just as Professor X swoops in. Talk about a schoolyard showdown for mutant talent. And right after, Emma Frost goes all puppet master on the X-Men, pulling a sneaky move while they are sipping shakes at a shop. Such a crazed, villainous move, right? So she gives an order, and bam, X-Men get snagged and shipped off to Frost International. It's not the best field trip, we'd say, but hold up. Plot twist, Phoenix, the fiery force of nature, isn't having any of her troublemaking. She goes full-on superhero mode, overpowers Emma, and we all think Frost bites the dust. But guess what? She's not dead, folks. Just in a coma for a month. During her nap time, she's got to rebuild her mind from scratch. Talk about a mental workout. And hey, she manages to dig up memories, including a few spicy ones with Namor. Not bad for a nap, huh? Later, down the mutant drama lane, Kitty's parents decide Xavier's school is a no-go and ship her off to Frost's Massachusetts Academy. Now, while fully recovered and ready for round 2, Emma decides it's body swapping time. And who else would she pick but Storm? Meanwhile, Shaw, the other troublemaker, busts out a new type of Sentinel to attack the X-Men. But guess what? X-Men do what they do best: kick ass. The Hellfire Club meets its defeat once again. It's Mutant Mayhem once again, and Emma's playing the ultimate mind games. Emma Frost, Queen of Mutant Mayhem and Unlikely Alliances. Brace yourselves for a wild twist in the Emma Frost saga. So, one day, while she's trying to get to shore, Frost does a superhero nosedive into a catatonic schizophrenia sort of situation. Yep, she collapses, probably leaving Shaw wondering if he's missed a critical memo. But hold up, here comes the miraculous wake-up call. Frost snaps out of her coma, and guess what? She decides it's time for a mutant wake-up call. So she hits up Doug Ramsey and brings him to her school, and bam, Kitty's back in the picture. Now, these things turn into pretty obvious villainy because Frost captures both Doug and Kitty. But plot twist alert, the New Mutants, working right under Frost's nose, swoop in to save the day. We all love such unexpected superhero rescues, right? But Emma, not one to shy away from drama, sets up a showdown between the New Mutants and her prized Hellions, her very own squad of trained mutant protégés. It's like a mutant schoolyard brawl, and things get heated. In the chaos, the New Mutants pull a disappearing act, teleporting away, leaving Emma scratching her head and probably wondering what just hit her. And that, dear friends, is the kind of mutant mayhem you can only find in the wild world of Emma Frost. Okay, now get ready for some more mutant drama. So Emma Frost gets the VIP ticket to the second Secret War showdown against the Beyonder. You know, the one where supervillains are summoned to get down and dirty with the big guy himself. In the midst of this cosmic chaos, the New Mutants bite the dust, thanks to a little Beyonder magic. But wait, he's probably feeling generous because he brings them back to life, but with a twist. They're rather rusty on the whole superpower thing, and suddenly not feeling the love for Professor Xavier's school. Enter Emma, always ready to seize an opportunity. Magneto's now the head honcho at Xavier's, and Frost decides to play the rehabilitation card. She sweet-talks Magneto into letting her work her mental magic on the New Mutants. And the next thing you know, she's got them transferred to the Massachusetts Academy. Surprisingly, the New Mutants seem to be adjusting fine, and Frost is making strides in their therapy. But oh snap, plot twist. Magneto catches wind of her mind games and rushes to rescue his wayward students. Frost, not one to back down, pulls the ultimate power move and tips off the authorities about an imminent attack on her school. But when the New Mutants dash off to rescue Magneto, Frost has a moment of clarity. She realizes the kids still care about their old school and switches things up. When they're on neutral ground, Emma teams up with Magneto to help the kids recover from their Beyonder-induced trauma. In the end, the kids decide to pack their bags and head back to Xavier's school, but not without a nod of gratitude to Emma for being the unexpected therapist in their mutant lives. And would you believe it? Frost and Magneto, the ultimate frenemies, end up forming an alliance thanks to Shaw and his continuous inner circle drama. Ah, mutants and their ever-changing allegiances. The Frost-Magneto alliance unraveled. So Emma Frost hears about this poor creature getting the short end of the stick at Magneto's school, and what does she do? she decides to let her Hellions turn it into a mutant showdown and grab Birdbrain. Such a Frost move, right? After the Hellions snatch the victory trophy, one mutant decides that Massachusetts Academy sounds like a good gig, and Frost's all supportive, saying Magneto can have a few of her students too. You can practically hear the mutant school rivalry reconciling in the air. As Frost and Magneto become mutant BFFs, their friendship starts ruffling some feathers, especially with the New Mutants and the infamous Shaw. Tensions rise, alliances crumble, and it all comes to a head with Magneto squaring up with Shaw in a mutant showdown. Magneto rocks the battle, kicks Shaw out of the inner circle, and boom, Magneto's now the Soul King, calling himself the Grey King. Frost and Magneto, in another one of their villainous schemes, start scheming to oust the Black Queen, but fate has other plans. Sadly, they never get to unleash their master plan because life's just that chaotic for mutant monarchs. Are the drama, the power plays? Who said mutant life was a walk in the park? Mutant meltdowns and shape-shifting surprises, the unpredictable adventures of Emma Frost. Emma Frost's life takes a wild turn when someone decides she's on their hit list. Assaults start hitting her up left and right, and the whole Hellfire Club's getting a beating too. Not one to stay silent, Emma drops the bomb on the X-Men. The inner circle's under attack, and it's terrible news for everyone. As they gather to brainstorm, in walks this time-traveling troublemaker called Trevor Fitzroy. Their anonymous villain has finally revealed himself. He crashes the party and takes down a few of Frost's prized Hellions. Cue an all-out brawl, and just when you think it couldn't get crazier, Sentinels decide to crash the party too. In the middle of the chaos, Emma takes a nosedive into yet another coma. Yep, she seems to have a talent for those. But here's the kicker. Her mind's still in control, and her body's chilling in the X-Men's mansion MedLab. Here comes the creepy part. When she's out cold, someone decides to go all egg harvesting mode on her, snagging over 1,000 eggs from some shady experiments. Talk about an unconventional nap time. So, while Emma's in dreamland and the Sentinels are all but done for, her eggs are having an unexpected field trip. Mutant life really does suck for Emma, doesn't it? Almost a year later, Emma, being her usual suspicious self, now thinks she's a prisoner of the X-Men. Such a Frost move, right? So Emma Frost finds herself hitching a ride in the body of none other than Iceman from the X-Men. Yeah, talk about an unexpected hitchhiker. She decides it's breakout time and starts flexing Iceman's powers in ways even he didn't know were possible. She gives him ice powers on steroids, folks. But hold up, here comes the heart-wrenching part. Emma stumbles upon the sad fate of her Hellions, her pride and joy. Reality hits her like a ton of bricks, and she has a major breakdown. Suddenly, she's second-guessing her whole mutant mentor game. It's like a light bulb moment where she realizes maybe Professor Xavier's school had the right idea all along. So there you have it, mutant drama at its finest. Emma Frost, stuck in Iceman's body, questioning her life choices and realizing her training might have needed a bit of an upgrade. Mutant mayhem and self-discovery. Her saga continues. Emma Frost, from villainous twists to diamond transformations. Emma Frost then did a whole 180 on her mutant journey. So get this, because she's all about redemption, she decides to wash away her past sins and turns the Massachusetts Academy into the new Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters. Emma, alongside Banshee, becomes the new headmaster, and bam, Generation X is born. A fresh new superhero team is now in town. Now, Frost and Banshee are like the odd couple of mutant education, constantly bickering about teaching styles, but deep down they care about each other and their bunch of misfit students. During the first semester, Frost's little sister pops up, asking for help to rescue the mutant Mondo, who has apparently gotten nabbed. Emma, being her usual suspicious self, accuses Cordelia of some shifty business but reluctantly agrees to lend a hand. Surprise, surprise, they pull off the rescue mission with the help of their students. But, being the strict big sister, Emma lays down the law and tells Cordelia to stay away from her school. Plot twist alert, Mondo turns out to be working for the troublemaker Black Tom Cassidy. In the chaos of an attack on the school, Black Tom takes control of Frost's body, aiming to end her life once and for all. But Frost, being the badass she is, takes back control and unleashes a powerful sonic scream in her own direction, making it look like she's gone forever. Cue the morning, the search for missing students, and the big reveal. Frost's not actually gone for good yet. Nope, she's just pulled a stunt using a specific frequency that just stunned her for an hour. Classic Emma, always keeping us on our toes. So after some joyful reunions and hugs, guess who shows up? Emplate, the guy with an offer she can't refuse. He's ready to spill the beans on where the kids are. But of course, there's a price tag attached. Who could have expected that? Now Emma's not one to back down, so she gets all telepathic and contacts Emplate. Things get a bit dicey, but hey, in the end, the kids all find their way back to the school safe and sound. Whew. But let's be honest, it does take a bit of time for Emma to shake off the whole deal with the devil thing and redeem herself. But this isn't the end, folks, because Emma Frost's roller coaster ride just hit another loop. So picture this, everything's going smoothly at the school and then bam, a financial crisis hits. Emma gets the dreaded call from her finance guy and it turns out her company took a nosedive in the stock market. The school's in deep financial trouble and it's all panic mode. Now Emma being Emma, her first thought is to just use her telepathic powers to charm more investors into the picture. Easy fix, right? But Banshee, the voice of reason, convinces her to take the high road, set an example for the kids and not take the easy way out. So, cue the drama. Emma has to swallow her pride and hit up her older sister for some financial aid. Here's the thing, Emma's not exactly thrilled about getting help from her sister, who has always been a bit jealous of her. But hold up, the plot thickens. It turns out her sister knows about the mutant shenanigans going on at the school and strikes a deal. She will bail Emma out, but in return, she wants to be co-headmistress. Little did Emma know her sister had some seriously sinister plans up her sleeve. For a while, she keeps them all under wraps until one night, bam, she pulls a sneaky move, kidnaps Generation X and reveals her true colors. She planned for the kids to bite the dust just to see Emma suffer. Ice cold, right? And to top it off, she crowns herself the new White Queen and makes a grand exit. Now, after a bunch of wild adventures, the older sister goes full revenge mode again, but it backfires big time. Emma ends up being the one to deliver the ultimate blow. She straight up murders her sister. Shocking, right? The team's trust in their headmistress takes a nosedive, and the Massachusetts Academy gets the boot once and for all. But hold on, there is more. Emma grabs her sister's stuff, packs her bags, and heads to Genosha. She's teaching telepathy to young mutants there, living her best life. But just when you think the drama is over, tragedy strikes again. Emma pulls off the most insane mutant stuff and manifests a secondary mutation. She can now turn her body into an unbreakable diamond. Talk about a plot twist, huh? Emma Frost's return to Mutant Mayhem. Hold on to your hats, guys, because Emma Frost is back to bring some drama. So after a bit of recovery time, guess who's strutting back to the Xavier Institute to teach? Yep, our girl Emma is making a grand return. Now picture this, the school's in deep trouble again, and Frost gets her chance to prove she still got it. Xavier's sister pulls a body takeover move and starts plotting to wipe out all mutants on the planet. Who would have thought she'd be so evil, right? But here comes Emma to the rescue. Xavier gets his body back, but his sister's left in a non-corporeal state. And here's where Frost goes all strategic. She convinces Xavier's sister that she's done her a real favor by bringing her body to her in exchange for sparing her life. Smooth move, right? But guess what's really going down? Xavier's sister gets tricked into being trapped inside some alien stuff. Yep, you heard that right, alien stuff. Apparently, someone thought that was an excellent containment plan. So there you have it, folks. Emma Frost, the master of mind games, is back in action, saving the day and pulling off some intergalactic tricks. Still rocking the title of the most controversial mutant at school, Emma Frost managed to carve some sort of begrudging space for herself at the Institute. Now here comes the real test. During a wild riot at the school led by the Omega gang, one of Emma's students bites the dust. The crazy part? The student was using some drug to try and calm things down, but it all went south real quick. Chaos, drama, and blame games ensue. And guess who gets the blame? You got it? Emma Frost. Her whole emphasis on heroism gets pinned as the reason for the student's demise. The other students, not exactly thrilled with her leadership, decide it's time to hit the road. Yep, they ditch Emma faster than you can imagine. It's a rough day in the mutant world for our girl Emma, and her struggle continues. In a turn of events, Emma Frost, the Ice Queen with a soft spot for Cyclops, decides to step in and offer some telepathic counseling to him and Jean Grey. You know, a classic love triangle scenario. But guess what? This counseling session turns into a full-blown psychic affair between Frost and Cyclops. Talk about mutant relationship complications. Now, her students, not exactly thrilled about Frost's previous activities at the Institute, decide to spill the tea to Jean. And boy, does Jean Grey know how to make an entrance. She catches Frost and Cyclops in the act on the astral plane. Cue the drama. Jean goes all in, tearing through Frost's memories and making her confront all the stuff she's buried deep down. It's a brutal mental showdown, and Frost eventually breaks down, admitting that her attraction to Cyclops had blossomed into the real deal. True love. But wait, it gets crazier. Right after this mutant love triangle is exposed, Frost is seemingly assassinated, shot with a bullet in her diamond form's weak spot. She shatters into pieces. It turns out her former protege is the culprit, but instead of facing the music, she hightails it out of there. Such a sneaky move, right? In a wild twist, Jean Grey steps in, puts Frost back together, and brings her back to life. But hold on, the chaos isn't over. Jean meets her tragic end, and the X-Mansion gets wrecked. Professor Xavier decides to take a break, leaving the X-Men hanging. Frost, ever the schemer, tries to convince Cyclops to rebuild the school with her. Due to the guilt trip, Cyclops reluctantly agrees, being encouraged by none other than Jean Spirit herself. Talk about mutant love affairs, shattered diamonds, and a school building scheme. Emma's mutant saga keeps on giving. Emma's tango with the Phoenix Force. So here's the scoop on this. When the Phoenix, the cosmic force of nature, decides to swing by Earth for a pit stop, things get a bit crazy. Emma Frost, our resident mutant drama queen, and the X-Men decide they need to put a stop to it. Now enter Emma's master plan. She somehow talks the Phoenix into possessing her. Yeah, she becomes a temporary Phoenix Force host. Crazy, right? But hold up. Jean Grey, who's no stranger to Phoenix drama, pulls a smart move. A resurrected Jean Grey forces the Phoenix to hit the road and leave Frost alone. Crisis averted thanks to a bit of mutant mind games and a dash of superhuman intervention. The X-Men can breathe easy. And Emma, well, she's probably earned herself a front row seat in the Mutant Drama Hall of Fame. Emma Frost's tale in the House of M, a mutant family reunion with a dash of reality reset. Buckle up for this one because Emma Frost's life takes a wild turn in the House of M reality. So in this twisted world created by the Scarlet Witch's wish fulfillment extravaganza, Emma's living the dream, married to Cyclops and playing the role of a child psychologist. Talk about a plot twist, right? Now enter Wolverine, the X-Men's only sensible guy in this alternate reality. He reaches out to Emma for help, and they, along with some other awakened heroes, gear up to take down Magneto's headquarters and track down the missing Professor Xavier. Things get really controversial when it comes to dealing with the Scarlet Witch. Emma, always the bold one, sides with Wolverine on his daring plan to take her down straight up. But hold on, they never get the chance. The Scarlet Witch decides to hit the reset button, bringing reality back to almost normal, with one big exception. A whopping 90% of mutants worldwide lose their powers in what's now famously known as M-Day. And guess what? Emma Frost, against all odds, is among the lucky few mutants who gets to keep her powers. But wait, there is more mutant drama coming Emma's way. After M-Day, Emma takes a trip to the world and stumbles upon a jaw-dropping revelation about her past. Brace yourself for this bombshell. It turns out those psychic prodigy sisters, the Stepford Cuckoos, who were her first students at the Xavier Institute, yeah, they are Emma's daughters. And get this, they weren't conceived in the usual way. Nope, they were bred from Emma's eggs, harvested years before, alongside thousands of others. Talk about a mutant family reunion with a side of sci-fi madness. Emma Frost's mutant roller coaster just hit a whole new level. Emma's escapades under Cassandra's control. Trust us, you won't believe your ears when you hear this. So, a while back, Emma Frost decided to pull a fast one on Cassandra Nova, but little did she know it would come back to bite her. Cassandra, being the sneaky mind game expert she is, slipped a mental suggestion into Emma's consciousness. And what did it make Emma believe? That she joined the X-Men just to free Cassandra. Talk about a mind bender, right? Under this funky influence, Emma goes on a telepathic spree, tormenting the X-Men with all sorts of illusions. She even manages to sweet-talk Kitty into freeing Cassandra. But hold on, before things get too chaotic, the X-Men get abducted to a spaceship. And guess what? Emma's out of Cassandra Nova's clutches. The plot thickens, the illusions keep coming, and it's mutant mind games all over again. Emma's adventures in San Francisco. So picture this. Emma Frost and Cyclops are chilling in the Savage Land, probably sipping some mutant-friendly cocktails when, bam, they get a telepathic distress call from San Francisco. Why? Because someone's messing with minds, making the whole city think it's the swinging 1960s. Such strange shenanigans, right? Emma, being the telepathic queen she is, busts through the mental fog and reveals the culprit. Martinique Wingard, After all of this is sorted, the X-Men and the remaining mutants get wind of the San Francisco situation and decide to head there for refuge, thanks to the mayor's invitation. But Emma, not one to sit back, goes full telepathic mode. She dials up every powered and depowered mutant, friend or foe, and gives them the lowdown. The message? Rally in San Francisco, folks. It's like the ultimate mutant meetup. You've got to love Emma, though. Always ready to take charge in a crisis. Mutant party in San Francisco. Anyone? So here's what happened next. Xavier's trying to have a heart-to-heart with Cyclops about some secret mutant drama. But guess who decides to sneak into the professor's mind undetected? Yep, our girl Emma Frost. And why, you ask? Because during this mental meetup, Frost wants to go all in. She makes Xavier replay every single mistake and morally grey decision he has ever made under the guise of being a do-gooder. It is like she is giving him a mutant therapy session, but on a whole new level. And get this, it turns out Frost and Cyclops are both pretty ticked off at Xavier. But here's the twist. Emma's not just here to stir the pot. Nope, she's got a soft spot and actually wants to help the professor move on with his life. So in true Frost fashion, she takes Xavier on a trip down memory lane, making him confront and remember all the stuff he'd rather forget. It's like mutant therapy with a side of tough love, even if it means diving deep into the messy past. Now brace yourselves for the ultimate Skrull showdown in San Francisco. Emma Frost is on the mutant battlefield once again. So the Skrulls, those shape-shifting troublemakers, decide to invade Earth and set up this massive telepathy blocking wall that practically blankets the entire globe. Talk about a psychic lockdown, right? Now Emma, being the telepathic powerhouse she is, decides she's not having any of that. She pulls a move straight out of the Cuckoo's playbook and channels their telepathic abilities into her own, aiming to sniff out the source of this psi blockade. But here's the kicker. The Skrulls aren't playing nice. Emma ends up in a psychic coma and everyone thinks she's done for, like forever. Little do they know that Emma's telepathic mind is in full battle mode against the Skrull psychic squad. It's a mental game of chess and Emma's not backing down. Through a series of clever traps and misdirection, she outsmarts the Skrulls, breaks free from her psychic prison and shuts down that pesky psi blockade. Cue the triumphant return of Emma Frost, the telepathic queen, who's not about to let some Skrull mind games ruin her day. Mutant resilience at its finest. Emma Frost's Cabal Chronicles. So get this, Norman Osborn, the guy with a serious case of power hunger, becomes the top cop in the good old USA. And what's the first thing he does? Assembles a crew of supposedly like-minded folks, calling it the Cabal. And guess who gets an invite? Our girl Emma Frost joins the ranks with the likes of Norman himself. But Emma's got a condition for sticking around in this whole Osborn strategy mess. She demands that all mutants be treated with some basic human decency. Emma's not playing around. She insists on touring the facilities to check on the prisoners and make sure they're not getting the short end of the stick. Now, with mutants and non-mutants at each other's throats in protests and riots, Norman turns to Emma with a brilliant idea. Lead a civil peacekeeping group of X-Men. Such a diplomatic thing to do, right? Emma, ever the pragmatic one, agrees to the gig. Her first mission? Arrest a bunch of mutant vandals, and guess what? One of them happens to be her own former star student. Talk about awkward family reunions. The tension's already high among the teammates, especially when one of them comes dangerously close to taking out a mutant rioter. Emma, being the voice of reason, steps in and prevents any fatalities. The crisis is averted and the mutant vandals are in custody. It's like mutant Law and Order, Emma Frost style. To her, it's just another day in the chaotic world of Cabal collaborations. So tensions are hitting the roof between the Dark Avengers and the new X-Men squad. And guess who's in the middle of it all? Yep, our girl Emma Frost. Just then, Professor X hits her up and spills the beans. He's locked up in Osborn's facility too, and the Omega chair he's hooked up to has some seriously messed up side effects. It's a classic Osborn move, keeping secrets and all. Emma, being the investigative queen that she is, discovers they've been using hologram projectors to hide the fact that Professor X is in the house. So in her trusty diamond form for protection and unable to telepathically chat, she verbally reassures the professor that she's got his back and everything will be okay. Now Emma takes charge, leading her X-Men squad around San Francisco like a mutant task force. They are not just dealing with those pesky bio-sentinels, they're also putting an end to the riots and rounding up mutants from the streets. But here's the twist. Emma's motives get a little fuzzy when she kind of just stands there watching as the Omega machine gets used to torture and drain powers from captives. It's like, Emma, what are you up to? The plot thickens when all the mutant prisoners mysteriously vanish after another round of power draining. Cue the dramatic reveal. The X-Force also shows up on the scene. Emma, seemingly with her own agenda, leads Osborn's X-Men to stop X-Force. But hold up, in a surprise move, Emma flips the script and betrays her own team. Yep, she decides to roll with X-Force and join the rest of the mutants on a mobile island, the mutant paradise known as Utopia. Just another day in Emma Frost's book of mutant twists and turns. So Norman Osborn, the big shot with the crumbling Cabal, gets all enraged and decides he wants Emma Frost's heart on a platter. Yeah, talk about some intense villain vibes. And the Dark Avengers and the leftover Dark X-Men are on a mission to make it happen. On the flip side, Emma's not sitting around waiting for trouble. She telepathically dives into the White Room thinking she can contain the Void. Spoiler alert, the Void's a tough nut to crack and straight up breaks free. But here's the kicker. A tiny sliver of the Void gets stuck in Emma's forehead. Now she's stuck in her diamond form to keep the Void at bay and stop it from messing with her telepathic powers. Meanwhile, the X-Men are showering a ton of outnumbering moves against Osborn's Avengers and X-Men, pushing them back. It's like a mutant showdown, and Emma's caught in the middle with a piece of the Void playing mind games. Just another day in the life of Emma Frost, the Diamond Warrior. Undead, Mayhem and Mind Games. Emma Frost faces Selene's wrath and the Void's challenge. So just when Emma Frost thinks she can catch a break, enter Selene, a whole new menace crashing the mutant party. And guess who Selene's got a beef with? Yep, our girl Emma, and she's not holding back. See, Emma tried to pull a fast one on Selene way back, and that didn't sit well with her. Plus, Selene's had issues with Emma using the Black Queen title during her Dark X-Men leadership stint. Talk about a grudge, right? Now, Selene, being the villain with a flair for the dramatic, unleashes the techno-organic virus to bring back a bunch of dead mutants. And guess who's on that undead lineup? Emma's old students, the Hellions, were raised from the mutant afterlife just to mess with her. Selene sends this resurrected Hellion squad straight to Utopia to stir up trouble and taunt Frost. It's like a mutant horror show for Emma, especially seeing her former students turned into undead minions. Shock and horror. That's the reaction we get from her. Things get really messy when the undead Hellions make their grand entrance on Utopia. In his usual berserker mode, Wolverine is all set to take down Emma's former student, and Frost, surprisingly, steps in to stop the bloody showdown. But as Celine's inner circle leaves a trail of chaos and destruction, Emma realizes this isn't a problem you can just sweep under the carpet. The threat's not going away until Celine and her crew are taken out for good. So what does Emma do? She makes the tough call and orders X-Force to pack their bags and head to Necrotia, Celine's playground, to put an end to this undead mutant mayhem. It's like a mutant hit squad mission, and Emma's not playing around. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, or, in this case, deal with the undead mutants by sending in your own team of deadly mutants. Just another day in Emma Frost's world of mutant complications. After all the mutant drama settles down, it is time to deal with the little void sliver camping out in Emma Frost's head. See, the X-Men need her telepathic superpowers back in action. Cyclops, being the brave guy he is, steps up to the plate and decides to dive into Emma's mind to scoop out the pesky sliver. But surprise, surprise, the Void isn't interested in playing nice. It switches things up, trying to wrestle control of Cyclops. Talk about a mental battle. Luckily, Cyclops pulls a move straight out of his mutant playbook. He manages to steal the Void away within some mental black box in his mind, like a superhero locking away the bad guy. And just like that, Emma's back in business, free from Void's mind games. Crisis averted, mutant telepathic powers restored, and the X-Men can breathe a sigh of relief. It's just another day in Emma's mutant mental battleground, folks. Emma Frost's Phoenix Odyssey. So here's how it goes down with the Phoenix. Emma Frost gets all aggressive with her X-Men crew, ready to face off against the Avengers. Picture this. Cyclops goes all out, blasting Captain America, and the brawl kicks off. But wait, there's a twist. Emma's telepathic powers get shut down by some pesky nanocloud. Classic superhero tech trouble, right? Now she's stuck relying on her trusty diamond form to hold her own. The battle rages on, and just when it looks like the Avengers have the upper hand, surprise! It's all a ruse. Cyclops pulls a fast one, surrenders, and gives the Avengers the slip with Emma and their other mutant pals. Now, Emma and Cyclops hit up the Jean Grey school on a recruitment mission. Wolverine, caught in a moment of weakness, spills the beans about Hope Summers. Thanks to Emma's telepathic skills, they pinpoint Hope's location and head straight to it. It's showdown time. X-Men vs Avengers, with the Phoenix in the mix. Iron Man takes a swing at the Phoenix, but there is a plot twist. Instead of getting wiped out, the Phoenix turns Emma and the mutants into its avatars. Yeah, things just got a whole lot more catastrophic. Cyclops and the Avatar crew snatch up Hope and head back to Earth for some serious prep. Mutant drama, cosmic powers, and Avengers on the chase. It's a wild ride in the world of Emma Frost and the Phoenix Saga. So after the Phoenix 5, including our girl Emma Frost, go on a Sentinel smashing spree, Emma decides to pay a visit to the Avengers Academy. What for, you ask? Well, to wreck their Sentinel, of course. She swoops in, does her thing, and leaves like the badass she is. Now here's where the plot takes a crazy turn. Emma and her Phoenix buddies, fueled by all that fiery power, decide they're going to make the world a better place. No biggie, right? They're eliminating wars, tossing out free water, food, and energy like it's Christmas. But hold up, the Avengers aren't buying it. They go into their whole kidnap Hope mode, and the Phoenix 5 aren't having it. Emma and her fiery pals battle fiercely with the Avengers, capturing some of them along the way. Emma then finds out that the rest of the Avengers are hiding in Wakanda. But oops, she keeps that little tidbit to herself and just one other Phoenix. Sadly, her Phoenix buddy gets a beatdown in Wakanda, and after that defeat, Emma gets an extra dose of the Phoenix power. Now, with her telepathic powers cranked up to 11, Emma's practically a walking secret vault. But here's the twist. She starts losing control. Emma goes all vigilante, taking out folks who mess with mutants. The power's too much for her to handle and she's on the edge. Suddenly she's bossing around the X-Men too, throwing threats left and right. Magneto tries to talk some sense into her, but Emma's having none of it. Cyclops, her main man, can't bring himself to yank the Phoenix from her, even with some temptation on her part. Things get really intense when Emma tempts Cyclops to burn the whole world and start afresh. He refuses, and before they can sort things out, bam! The Avengers and X-Men team up for an attack. Professor X, the telepathic guru, tries to shut them down, but it's too late. Cyclops decides he's had enough and brutally snatches Emma's piece of the Phoenix, turning into the one and only wielder. But he goes full-on Dark Phoenix, losing control and causing chaos. In the midst of this mutant madness, Emma gets snagged by the new Avengers. Yep, it's just another day in the mutant soap opera that is her life. The Phoenix fallout and Emma Frost's rescue. So, Emma Frost, our Diamond Diva, gets sprung out of custody by none other than Cyclops and Magneto. Such a powerful superhero jailbreak, right? But hold up, there is a twist. Both rescuers realize they are not in complete control of their powers anymore. Cue the superhero version of a massive mistake. Now you'd think Emma would be all grateful for the daring rescue, but nope. She's furious at Cyclops, probably for dragging her into this mess. And get this, her telepathic powers? All gone. Emma spills the beans that the Phoenix left its mark, tweaking the abilities of everyone it touched. Talk about an unwanted power-up. In the heat of the moment, with her circumstances closing in on her, Emma's left with a choice. Join forces with Cyclops and Magneto, or make a run for it. Spoiler alert, she reluctantly sticks with the superhero duo. They decide to hit the road, on the lookout for new mutants to join their merry band. Now Emma's not just along for the ride, she's right there with Cyclops in the trenches too, dealing with skirmishes and freeing mutants from their not-so-friendly human captors. But hold on, the plot thickens. Emma isn't thrilled to hear that Jean Grey's back in the game, causing mischief in their timeline. It's like a mutant thriller with all the drama and none of the commercial breaks. So picture this, a freed Emma, a conflicted Cyclops, and a magnetic Magneto hitting the mutant recruitment trail. With her powers all wonky and Jean Grey making a comeback, it's safe to say the mutant world is in for one wild rollercoaster ride, and Emma's right in the middle of the mutant mayhem, whether she likes it or not. Next, let's dive into this mutant mission in San Diego, Emma Frost edition. So picture this, Emma and her X-team decide it's time for a wardrobe upgrade. Out with the old, in with the new, and they all rock sleek all-black outfits. It's like Mutant Fashion Week, but with more than a hint of danger. Now, on this San Diego mission, things get really intense. Cyclops, the hero of the day, swoops in to save everyone's skin during a counterattack. But here's the kicker. The aftermath of her powers going haywire leaves Emma in total shock. Destruction levels? Off the charts. It's like the Phoenix 5 has unleashed chaos, and Emma's left wide-eyed at the fallout. Being Emma Frost, she's not one to stay silent. Cue the finger pointing. Emma straight up accuses Tony Stark of being the puppet master behind the creation of the Phoenix 5. It's a classic superhero blame game, right? Now the plot thickens. Just when you think Emma's telepathic powers are gone for good, they make a mysterious comeback. No one knows how or why. It's like mutant magic. And guess what? This power revival happens right before Cyclops decides to disband his mutant school. Talk about timing. So, Emma Frost dresses to impress in her all-black ensemble, goes through the mutant battles, hero saves, and accusations, all while keeping us guessing about her telepathic powers. What a time in the life of Emma Frost. Emma's mutant drama, toxic clouds, and secrets. So, soon enough, Emma Frost and the X-Men get this urgent distress call from Muir Island, right? It turns out that those pesky Terrigen mists released by the Inhuman King are toxic to mutants. They rush in, only to find the island covered in the deadly mist, wiping out everyone there. And hold on, because here comes the punchline. Cyclops, the fearless leader, gets hit almost instantly and bites the dust. Emma, hit hard by grief, decides Cyclops deserves a better farewell. So she whips up this mental projection of him, because why not? With her mental version of Cyclops in tow, she hatches a plan to take down those Terrigen clouds. She succeeds in zapping one cloud, but then enters the Inhumans, ready for a showdown. Now with her eyes on turning Cyclops into a martyr, Emma has her mental projection face off with the Inhuman King. And well, meet his demise. The result? A truce with the Inhumans, giving Emma the green light to keep her life and freedom. The X-Men give Cyclops a hero's burial, and Emma's got a big secret on her hands. Fast forward, the X-Men learn that the remaining Terrigen cloud is on the brink of turning Earth into a no-go zone for mutants. Enter Emma Frost, stirring the X-Men into action, ready to wage war against the Inhumans to keep them busy while they figure out how to destroy the cloud. Tensions run high, but by surprise, the Inhuman Queen decides to play nice and destroys the cloud after learning the stakes. Mission accomplished, right? Not for Emma. She is still pointing fingers at the X-Men, blaming them for her lover's death. Drama alert. When the truth about Cyclops' demise comes out, Emma unveils her secret weapon, a squad of sentinels especially designed to target Inhumans. It's like a mutant versus Inhuman showdown. But guess what? Both factions decide to team up against Emma. The showdown ends with Emma getting the beat down, and there is a plot twist. She gets teleported away at the last minute. What a mutant misunderstanding, secrets, betrayals, and a mourning Emma Frost fighting for revenge. Just another day in the world of mutant mayhem. Mutant schemes and cosmic confrontations with Emma Frost. So, evil Cap's doppelganger, pulling a shady move, decides to grant mutants their own nation in the good old USA, a place named New Tyan. But here's the catch. Mutants can't set foot on American soil. Enter Emma Frost, the Diamond Queen, appointed as ruler. But hold on, Emma's actually into the whole puppet ruler deal. You heard that right. She telepathically pulls the strings from behind the scenes, running the show incognito. Now New Tian becomes Emma's mutant playground, all thanks to a sinister plan involving the Mothervine virus. The Cabal, led by our girl Emma, gears up for a global release of Mothervine. Their master plan? Quadruple the mutant population in the blink of an eye, making mutants the top dogs in less than a year. But of course, Emma's not just twiddling her thumbs this whole time. Her loyal mutant crew gets souped up with Mothervine enhancements, turning them into her very own mutant experiments. As the global Mothervine release kicks off and bombs head towards significant cities, Emma's hit with a revelation. Those accepted by Mothervine can have their wills controlled. It's like mutant chaos, but on steroids. Emma, realizing the stakes, flips the script and turns against her own creation. Meanwhile, Magneto's on a mission to scrub the Mothervine from the impact zones, like a one-man mutant cleanup crew. And guess what? Emma's stand against Mothervine works. The destruction of Mothervine at its source is a success, saving the day and putting an end to the mutant mayhem. It's like a manufactured mutant disaster with Emma Frost at the helm, plotting, scheming, and facing the consequences of her own deadly experiments. Just another day in the life of the Diamond Ruler. Soon enough, Captain America's on a desperate quest to find Cosmic Cube fragments, and Emma Frost, always in the mix, stumbles upon one of these fragments. Being the diplomatic girl she is, she approaches Cap and offers up the shiny piece. But guess what? Cap's not feeling the mutant love, and he blows off Emma once he snags the fragment for himself. Talk about a superhero snub. Now, with peace out of the window, the mutants and Cap's crew face off in Washington, D.C. It's a full-blown mutant showdown in the Capitol. After the dust settles and the US is liberated, New Tyan, once mutant territory, gets snatched back by the good old USA. It's just another day in the world of Emma Frost and her lifelong battles for power. Emma's mutant power play, from club drama to council focus. By now, Emma Frost, the queen of double-crossing, has decided she has had enough of Shaw's shenanigans. Boom, she takes him out and claims the throne, naming herself the new Black King of the Hellfire Club. Such an Emma thing to do, right? But hold on, there is another twist. She's not just doing it for kicks. She's got plans to shake things up in the Hellfire Club. Surprise, surprise, Emma's playing her games again, and the X-Men are left scratching their heads. Fast forward, and here comes Charles Xavier and Magneto, the dynamic duo trying to recruit Emma for their new nation of Krakoa. They sweeten the deal by making her the go-to gal for international trade relations. Emma, being the savvy businesswoman she is, snags a seat on the Quiet Council, Krakoa's fancy governing body. And what's her price? Oh, just another seat for someone special, handpicked by Emma herself. Talk about pulling some strings. Cut to the Quiet Council's grand gathering. Emma's right there, rubbing elbows with the other big shots. They hash out plans, discuss mutant affairs, and voila! Krakoa gets recognized as a sovereign nation. Cue the celebration. Emma joins in the festivities, toasting to Krakoa's success and probably sipping on something classy. Oh, and did we mention the most surprising twist in this tale? Emma and Jean seem to have buried their long-time rivalry. It's like a mutant peace treaty, and Emma's right in the middle of the action. Just another day in the ever-evolving life of Emma Frost. So after the Krakoa victory party gets wrapped up, Emma Frost isn't wasting any time. She rolls up her sleeves and gets down to business, setting up the Hellfire Trading Company like the mutant boss she is. And here's where it gets interesting. Emma decides to bury the hatchet with another one of her past conflicts. She's feeling all generous and tosses her extra council seat to Kate Pride, throwing in the title of Red Queen for good measure. Now that's an offer you can't refuse, right? But wait, there is a snag in this mutant drama. Enter Sebastian Shaw, the guy who plans to reclaim his throne. He's not having it with Kate as the Red Queen, and he's got a sinister move up his sleeve. He corners her, pulls a fast one on her pet dragon Lockheed, and releases Krakoan seeds that tie Kate up, messing up with her powers. Shaw, thinking he's got it all figured out, takes things to the extreme. He dunks Kate into some really deep water, thinking he's drowned her for good. Talk about a mutant power play gone wrong. Now, after Kate's funeral, here comes Lockheed, the dragon sidekick, with the scoop. It turns out Kate's not done for, and Lockheed spills the beans to Emma. The grief turns into a revenge plan, and Emma's all in. She revives Kate and spills the tea, and they cook up a revenge scheme that's pure genius. It's a whole mutant revenge thriller, and Emma and Kate are the leading ladies. As Kate gets ready for her resurrection party, she and Emma are all smiles, knowing Shaw's in for a surprise. Just another day in the world of mutant mischief, with Emma Frost at the helm. Then enter Mr. Sinister with a genius plan. He wants to create a team called the Hellions, a bunch of mutants who are a bit rebellious and need some rehab on Krakoa's laws. Emma Frost, being the ever-suspicious one, isn't too sure about Sinister's game and smells something fishy. So, Emma does what any intelligent mutant leader would do. She makes a deal with her former student, asking him to be her undercover agent within the Hellions. It's like mutant spy games, and Emma's playing it safe. Now, these new Hellions aren't your typical law-abiding mutants. They're on a mission, causing a stir on various tasks. Meanwhile, fueled by the need for revenge, Emma and Kate Pryde decide it's payback time. They storm Sebastian Shaw's house, kick things off by shutting down his powers, and then go to town on him. While Emma kicks back with a drink, Kate unleashes her mutant fury on Shaw. But hold up, it gets even wilder. Lockheed the Dragon sidekick decides to get in on the action, biting off Shaw's eye like it's a mutant snack and tossing it in the fireplace. Now that's a visual you wouldn't want to imagine. To top off their revenge spectacle, they serve Shaw a poisoned drink that leaves him crippled and unable to strut his stuff. Revenge served in Emma's style. With Shaw out of the picture, Emma shifts gears and goes back to being the mutant event planner she is. It's all about making the final touches for the Hellfire Gala, a mutant extravaganza she's been cooking up. It's like a mutant party planner's dream come true, with a side of revenge served cold. Just another day in the life of Emma Frost, juggling mutant politics, spy games, and a gala prep like a true diamond diva. Alright, so after the whole Hellfire Gala, Emma pulls another power move. She strikes a deal with Shaw, the guy they just wrecked, to patch him up and get him back in fighting shape. Classic Emma, keeping her enemies close, right? But hold up, here's the surprise twist. Emma decides she's done with the Hellfire Club. She drops out, leaving the club scene behind like the boss she is. And where does she set her sights? The Quiet Council, of course. Emma's all about that mutant governance life. Now here's the club update. The Stepford Cuckoos swoop in to fill Emma's shoes. Yep, it's a cuckoo takeover. Meanwhile, Kate Pryde holds her ground as the Red Queen, probably planning the next big mutant soiree or revenge scheme. Just another era of Emma Frost's mutant power play. From club drama to council focus, she's keeping us all on our toes. A council conundrum and Mayor Fisk's fiasco. Here's the lowdown on Emma Frost's wild ride with the Quiet Council. Mystique, always scheming, spots an opening with 2 empty council seats. She decides to sweeten the deal and bribes Emma with some mysterious black box she's been after. Classic mutant intrigue, right? In exchange, Mystique wants Emma's vote in a crucial council decision. When the big moment arrives, Emma, with a hint of reluctance, drops a surprising vote that leaves everyone in the room scratching their heads. Plot twist? Anyone? Now fast forward to Emma doing her telepathic thing and diving into Moira's mind. And boy, does she stumble upon a mutant-sized bombshell. It turns out that Moira's been playing everyone like chess pieces, living multiple lives before Krakoa was even a thing. Emma, not one for deception, is totally disgusted that Xavier and Magneto have worked hand in hand with her, keeping everyone fooled for so long. No time for explanations, she storms out, waving goodbye to loyalty. But Emma being Emma, she's not done stirring the mutant pot. At the next council meeting, she drops the bomb on Moira's time-resetting abilities. Concerned about the danger, she summons Mystique and Destiny to spill the tea. At first, they're skeptical, but Emma, being the telepathic queen, proves she's not pulling a mutant tall tale. Next move? She hands them a neutralizer gun like it's a mutant secret weapon and spills the truth about Moira to the rest of the council. Moira, depowered and kicked out of Krakoa, gets a one-way ticket out of mutant paradise. It's just another day in Emma's saga for vengeance. Alright, buckle up for some more crazy mutant drama in the Big Apple. So, when Mayor Fisk decides to play the no superhero card in New York, the X-Men, being the rebel superheroes they are, simply aren't having it. And guess who steps up to the plate? Our Diamond Queen, Emma Frost. She pulls some diplomatic strings and bam, she gets the X-Men's HQ recognized as a Krakoa consulate by the UN. Classic Emma move, right? But hold on, Fisk isn't one to take her flex lightly. He decides to hit Emma where it hurts, stirring up trouble by making it public that she was the last one to see Isabel Donovan before she vanished. Talk about mutant tabloid material. To clear her name and show Fisk who is boss, Emma jets off to England and lo and behold, she runs into Isabel, now all grown up. Emma, with that smooth talk of hers, convinces Isabel to join her on a trip back to the good old USA. Once in New York, Emma spills the beans to a Daily Bugle reporter, dropping the truth bomb about Isabel's disappearance. You can bet Fisk isn't thrilled about having his dirty laundry aired out for all of New York to see. Emma plays it smart, puts Fisk in a bad light, and clears her name. It's just another day in her superpower PR games, with Emma Frost turning the tables on the mayor of New York. Mutant drama, diplomatic maneuvers, and a touch of scandal. It's like a crazy soap opera, and Emma's the leading lady. Mutant Poker Night. Secrets and showdowns at the Hellfire Gala. Now let's dive into Emma Frost's high-stakes poker game at the Hellfire Gala, Mutant style. So Emma's at the table, cards in hand, probably looking as fabulous as ever. But hold up, who joins the game? None other than Tony Stark, the man with the iron suit. Classic Marvel meetup, right? Now Stark, being the tech genius, slyly drops some concerns about the whole resurrection gig happening on Krakoa. You know, just casual superhero banter at a poker table. But wait, the plot thickens. In walks Fei Long, a mutant hater stirring up trouble. Emma and Tony aren't having it, and the poker game turns into a whole showdown. Emma, always the classy one, decides to bow out, leaving the drama behind. But Tony Stark, being the guy who loves tech and gossip, hints that certain Quiet Council members may be messing with people's memories. Cue the crazy conspiracy theories. Now fast forward to when Fei Long somehow gets his hands on Stark Unlimited. Not one to back down, Tony jets off to Krakoa to have a heart-to-heart with Emma. Picture it, a superhero meeting, tech talk, and a dash of drama. It's just another day in the Marvel social scene where poker games turn into insider intel sessions and Tony Stark plays the detective in the world of Krakoa. Mutant shenanigans, poker faces, and a sprinkle of superhero intrigue. It's like a super-powered Vegas night with Emma Frost and Tony Stark.
Colonel Hendry?
Yes, ma'am.
Emma Frost, Sebastian Shaw's associate.
Live-action story of Emma Frost. In X-Men First Class back in 1962, Emma Frost was doing her thing as a big shot in the Hellfire Club. Enter Moira McTaggart, a CIA agent nosing around the club scene in Las Vegas. And guess what? Moira decides to go undercover at one of Frost's fancy functions, posing as one of her dancers. Now picture this. Moira's at the event trying to keep a low profile when, bam, she catches Emma Frost transforming into her diamond form. Talk about an unexpected revelation. This little diamond trick of Emma's sets off alarm bells in Moira's head, and she does what any sane person would do. She contacts Charles Xavier. Mutants are on her radar, and then there comes Magneto on a mission to take down Sebastian Shaw aboard his yacht. Emma, being the telepathic queen she is, dives into his mind, gives him a mental beatdown, and tosses him off the boat. It's just another day in the life of this mutant badass. But hold on, the plot thickens. Emma decides to make a quick escape with Shaw, and they hop onto a submarine. Shaw, in a moment of charm or insanity, declares Emma the most beautiful woman in the world. Ah, mutant romance at its finest. Talk about a wild ride on the high seas with Emma Frost and her diamond tricks. Our Diamond Queen then takes her show on the road to Russia. And what's her move? She uses those seduction skills of hers to cozy up to a Russian general. Picture that scene. Things are getting steamy in the bedroom, and just when you think it's all smooth sailing, in barge Xavier and Magneto. Talk about a superpowered party crash. Emma, quick on her feet, goes full diamond mode to shield herself. But hold on, they're not letting her go that easy. Xavier and Magneto play their mutant cards, stopping Emma in her diamond tracks. And here comes the wild part. Magneto, the mental maestro, makes the bed turn into a makeshift prison, holding Emma in place. Diamond versus metal showdown. The pressure gets real, and Emma's diamond form starts cracking under the strain. It's like she's at her breaking point. But surprise, surprise, Xavier steps in and tells Eric to cool it. Crisis averted. They release Emma and she goes back to her normal, non-diamond self. Now with the mutant Mayhem contained, Emma gets a one-way ticket to the CIA headquarters. Talk about a crazy detour. Mutant espionage, diamond tricks, and a touch of superpowered diplomacy. That's Emma Frost in action. So, after Shaw bites the dust, Magneto's on a mission. He decides to kick things up a notch and starts his very own squad, the Brotherhood of Mutants. Classic Magneto move, right? Now who does he hit up to join his merry mutant crew? None other than Emma Frost. And how does he sweeten the deal? By setting her free from whatever mutant shenanigans she's involved in. Picture this: Emma, surveying the superhero landscape, spots her old Hellfire teammates cozying up with Magneto. A bit of a plot twist, wouldn't you say? But being the savvy mutant that she is, Emma decides to roll with it. Magneto extends the invite, and Emma, seeing great potential, joins him. It's like the mutant team-up you didn't see coming. So there you have it. Emma Frost, once ruling the Hellfire Club, now trading that in for a spot on Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants. It's an insane power move. Alliances shifting, and Emma, ever the adaptable one, sliding into a new chapter of mutant drama. Marvelous verdict. And there you have it, folks, the rollercoaster ride that is Emma Frost's life. Emma's story is a wild, mutant, superpowered drama from her early days as a diamond in the rough mutant to ruling the Hellfire Club with a diamond fist. We've seen her clash with the X-Men, switch sides more times than we can count, and even have a romantic rendezvous with our favorite optic blasting leader, Cyclops. The Hellfire Club, the Phoenix Saga, Mutant Wars, Emma's been right in the middle of it all. But it doesn't stop there. Diplomatic maneuvers, revenge plots, and even a stint on Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants. Emma Frost is like the ultimate mutant multitasker, juggling power plays and mutant politics with that signature diamond flair. Through it all, Emma's proven she's not just a diamond queen, she's a survivor, a schemer, and a force to be reckoned with in the mutant universe. So whether she's sipping on some new tea or donning her diamond form, Emma Frost continues to be one of the most intriguing and complex characters Marvel has ever given us. If you've enjoyed this mutant journey, don't forget to stay tuned for more. Until next time, mutant enthusiasts, peace out. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.